You are welcome once again, distinguished listeners, to another edition of Entrepreneurship and Enterprise Development, facilitated by Boxless Leadership Academy. Today, we are going to move straight to Module 5, and the focus of our discussion will be on turning ideas into opportunities and tools for evaluating business opportunities. This is just an extension of our Module 4, which focuses on turning ideas into opportunities. We have now expanded this discussion to include more information, especially looking at the available ways of turning your ideas into business opportunities. And thereafter, you make a critical decision on which opportunity you want to pick. Because at times you may have more than one, and it is instructive for you to do what is called scale of preference. And from your scale of preference, you now pick the best. Picking requires using scientific approach, not just wishful thinking or rule of thumb. You have to be scientific in doing that. So our learning objective are essentially three. One, at the end of this module, you'll be able to understand four common ways to turn your ideas into opportunities. And mind you, when I say opportunities, I mean business opportunities. Secondly, you will appreciate the challenges that are associated with the four common ways to turn ideas into opportunities. And finally, you'll be able to familiarize yourself with the tools for evaluating business opportunity before committing funds and other resources. So what are the four ways of turning ideas into business opportunities? If you look at the entrepreneurial ecosystem, that is your environment, it could be Nigeria, it could be France, or even within Nigeria, it could be Kano State, it could be Lagos State, Imo State, or even Delta. There are four common ways to turn ideas into business opportunities. The first one is to start from the scratch. By starting from the scratch, I mean you are starting a new business. It could be a poultry farm, a printing press, it could be an eatery, it could be a barbing salon, it could be a laundry shop, it could be a car wash, it may be web developing outfit, it could be ICT service provider, it could be network service provider, it could be a school or anything. But the most important thing is that you are starting from the scratch. You are not inheriting anything from anybody. You are not buying other people's business, but you are starting your own business based on your own business model and the content of your business plan. This is the commonest around. The second one is buying an independent business. There are some people who have the required financial resources. Instead of starting a new business, they prefer to buy other people's businesses and then grow it sustainably to fit into their dream. This is also very common. There are so many startups in the world that are doing fine as scale-ups today because somebody buy them from the original owner and they expanded the scope and of course the business strategy. The third one, which is also very common, is to buy a franchise. A franchise is simply an agreement between the owner of a flourishing business by another person who wants to make use of that particular name in another context, in another environment, and there's an agreement between the seller of the franchise, that is the franchisor, and the person who is buying the franchise, that is the franchisee. We are going to learn more about that later on. And the final one is to become an inventor. There are some people, they go into research and they come up with hot edge, products, processes, technology, and they get them patented and they make money from that, either as an individual or in a joint venture agreement. Let us look at each with more details. Starting a new business simply means creating a business from the scratch while ensuring all the teaching challenges associated with a new business are coped with. Some people, they love things that are very challenging and they want to grow organically. So from your business plan, you start nurturing your business, and you weather all the storm until it becomes a global or national brand. This is the concept of starting a new business. There are ups and downs associated with starting a new business. And the commonest challenges that people are always faced with when they start a new business are: one, high cost. Starting a new business involves expending a lot of money. You spend money on your business plan development. You spend money on your market sensing, or what we call a visibility plan. You spend money on business registration. You spend money on renting a suitable accommodation for your business. You spend money on business registration. You spend money on buying the equipment and other things. These are associated costs that you have to incur when you are starting a new business. The second one is low customer base. A new business is unknown, has not been tested, and is also not trusted. So your customer base at the inception will be very, very low. So you spend a lot of money on building your reputation through advertisement, aggressive marketing, sensitization, so that you grow your customer base. This could take 6 months, 1 year, or more than 1 year. So this is a very important point that we have to note. The third one is low reputation. Because you are not known, it will affect your sales and your patronage. So you have to build your reputation with quality product, affordable product, convenient product, and of course, product that gives value to the customer. And then more importantly, low trust. Because you lack customer base, you lack reputation, of course, people will not trust the quality of your product or your service or your technology. So you have to really invest a lot in building your trust over time. We need to say that starting a new business is challenging, but also rewarding. If you read the case of Netflix, Facebook, Alibaba, and so many world-class businesses, they all started as a new business, new to the world, new to the market. But today, they are all forces to be reckoned with in the entrepreneurial ecosystem. The second important thing you need to know with regards to starting a business is that you may also leverage buying an independent business. We have some entrepreneurs who prefer to purchase a business that already exists. So this is a very good strategy because you overcome the teaching challenges we mentioned earlier on. A new business lacks, the reputation, the trust, the customer base, and what have you. But if you buy an existing business, you'll be able to expand on the strategy, you'll be able to rebrand to fit your own tastes and preferences. So a business broker is someone who is licensed to sell a business. So if you are interested in buying an independent business, just approach a consultant or a business broker to help you look for suitable independent business that you can actually buy off totally. An existing business already has customer, they have some trust, level of trust, and of course, they have reputation. Therefore, buying an independent business is still an entrepreneurial activity. You are still responsible for its continued growth and success. I mentioned that earlier on. So when you buy an independent business, you have to rebrand, you have to expand the focus, you have to accelerate the growth process so that you actualize your vision, your mission, and your corporate objectives. The third one, which is also very common, is to buy a franchise. So some entrepreneurs prefer to buy a franchise rather than setting up a new business or buying an existing business. So a franchise is a legal agreement that gives the franchisee, that is the person seeking to buy that particular franchise, the right to sell the company's product or services in a particular location for a specified amount of time. So the franchise seller is called franchisor. I mentioned it earlier on that there are some people who have built reputation, who have built global brand, such as KFC, Mr. Biggs, McDonald's, ShopRite, etc. These are franchisors. So if you decide to replicate their business in your own area, because you cannot use those names, they are already exclusive for this business. What you can do is to enter into an agreement with them. We call that agreement a franchise. You are the franchisee and the owner of that particular business name, and that entity, is the franchisor. So you now agree on some terms, what to pay, procedures to follow, using their logo and what have you. All this come with huge cost, but the benefit actually outweigh the cost. Franchise is good, but there are a number of risks associated with it. So buying a franchise has less risk than starting a new business. Yeah, we have mentioned that because it's a global brand, it's known, it's trusted, tested. The only thing is that you are setting up that particular franchise in a new location, but the name is not new to people. The reputation is already there. The customer awareness is already there, and so on and so forth. But in spite of that, franchise actually poses a number of risks. One, some of the reasons for this are proven system. Yeah. So in terms of risk, franchise is less risky because it has a proven system. It's been tested and known to be functioning. Two, customers are already aware, and also multiple benefits provided by the franchise. So once you get a franchise license or agreement, you are not left alone. You are now working within the franchise global system or ecosystem. You'll be provided with so many benefits. You do your advertisement collectively. You'll be given sticker, logo, procedures, operating manual, and so on and so forth. Another benefit is exclusive geographical area. So they function, exclusively. If you have a franchise in Lagos, You can also take it to Kaduna, take it to Delta and that part of Nigeria. And it's also easy to finance in the sense that you operate within an ecosystem. However, there are some disadvantages. One, the initial and ongoing cost. You pay a certain amount of contract fee for buying a franchise. That's the initial fee. Then as you progress, you continue to pay annual periodic fees for you to be sustained within the franchise ecosystem. And another disadvantage is that it has less entrepreneurial freedom. In other words, you cannot innovate, outside the permissible limits. For instance, KFC is known to sell, some products. You can't add product outside that particular menu list. For instance, if a franchise owner sells soft drink and snacks, once you buy that particular franchise, you are not allowed to add solid food like eba, rice, amala, simply because you want to be innovative. So they don't allow that because it's outside their scope and the menu list. The fourth option is to become an inventor. Some entrepreneurs invent new products, designs, services, technology, and so on and so forth. And they take this to the market domain and they make humongous wealth therefrom, either as an individual or working within a joint venture agreement. The following are very important investor best practice. If you're an inventor, you expect to keep a logbook. A logbook is a dedicated book wherein you state clearly your deliverables and your achievements from time to time. And secondly, you also conduct a search around you to be able to establish if your invention is really new to the world. If it is new to the world, you'll be able to go ahead to get it patented. And also, once it is patented and you have been given exclusive rights and privileges over this particular invention, then you create a prototype that is a sample or a model on which future reproduction of an invention are based. A very good example is if you develop a program, that has the capacity to actually track COVID-19 pandemic, you can get it patented. Or you develop a better application that will help solve the issue of population census, you can get it patented, and then you develop a prototype which you are going to demonstrate and show to prospective investors for the purpose of mass production and taking your idea to the market domain. If you leave your idea to books alone, it becomes obsolete and you're not going to make fortune from your invention. Therefore, it is instructive to note that invention is good, but you have to take your invention to the market domain in order to get the needed leverage. We have successfully discussed the 4 ways to get your ideas, to become functional business opportunities. We are now moving straight to tools for evaluating opportunities. If you have multiple business opportunities in the field of entrepreneurship, you are allowed to become serial entrepreneurs. That is, an entrepreneur with different businesses. But you can't start several businesses or many businesses at the same time. You start one after the other. And to pick the best, you have to make use of some tools that will help you in prioritizing your ideas, which one to pick, which one to drop. So these evaluation tools are also called creative and critical thinking procedures, because while making a choice from a list of options or alternatives, you avoid personal feeling and pre-existing opinion. You have to be scientific. Secondly, relying on reason and thought instead of on emotion and impulse. So in using these particular tools, you make use of your reason, but you don't allow your reasons and thoughts to guide you. But you must also factor in your emotion and your impulse. However, you should give preference to reason and thought over emotion and impulse. Reason may dictate that a particular business is good, but emotionally you may not like it. So there should be a marriage between your emotion and your reason, between your thoughts and your impulse. Number three, if you make use of this tool, it will enable you to look at all the options. You look at the pros and cons, and you then come out with the best. This is what is called objectivity. But if you impose your own preconceived notion on what you want to do, then that is subjectivity. So as aspiring entrepreneurs or established entrepreneurs, we must be objective without neglecting subjectivity. But we must give preference to objectivity over subjectivity. So what are these tools? Essentially, there are a number of tools, but for the purpose of this module, we have identified three. The first one is cost-benefit analysis. The second one, opportunity cost analysis. And the third one is SWOT analysis. Let us look at each one after the other. When you say cost-benefit analysis, it is an analytical tool that helps you to look at the costs involved in starting a particular business against the benefit you stand to realize from starting such a business. For a good entrepreneur, the benefit must be higher than the cost if you put it on a scale. The benefit, the financial return, the financial benefit to you and to the society must be higher than the money you want to invest in that particular business. Therefore, cost benefit analysis is the process of adding up the expected benefit of an opportunity and subtracting all the expected cost. I've just mentioned that if the benefit outweighs the cost, then the opportunity may be worthwhile. Because you are going to commercial entrepreneurship, you must always ensure that the benefit outweighs the cost. However, if you are going to the world of charity, then you may not bother about that. In fact, your cost may be higher than your benefit if you are going to charity work. But for full commercial ventures, the benefit must always outweigh the cost. Secondly, there's what we call opportunity cost analysis. This is drawn from the concept of opportunity cost in economics and accounting. When you say opportunity cost, it is the value of something you get in exchanging for something you give up. For instance, if you are faced with the option of setting up a poultry farm or a laundry shop, if you go for a laundry shop, it means you have forgone a poultry farm. So the opportunity cost of the option you have picked is actually the cost of the alternative you have forgone. That is the cost of the poultry farm you have allowed to go or that you have refused to pick. That is the opportunity cost. So an opportunity cost analysis therefore examine the potential benefit that you have forfeited when you choose that option that you have preferred over the foregone option. You have picked events or car wash over poultry. So the benefit that you have actually forfeited is the opportunity cost analysis. So it is always good to do an opportunity cost analysis so that you'll be able to appreciate the option you have picked. At times, you may even have a routine that this particular option that I want to forego has more benefit than the one I have picked. I think it's better I have a rethink on my decision. So that is the importance of opportunity cost analysis. You may prefer an event organizing outfit to a poultry farm because of the convenience, but don't forget that you have forfeited the number of opportunities inherent in a poultry farm. In a poultry farm, you have the opportunity of becoming a poultry consultant. You make money from that. You have an opportunity of rearing your chicken. If you also forgo the opportunity of selling your chicken, the eggs, even the manure and some other things that are associated with a poultry farm. So all these are very, very important before you make your choice and your final decision. The third analytical tool is what is called SWOT analysis. So SWOT analysis is the business evaluation method that focuses on 4 categories of issues. The first one, you look at the strength in your business or in the option. Secondly, you look at the weaknesses. Thirdly, you look at the opportunities. And lastly, you look at the threats. Strengths and weaknesses are internal factors. That is, you have control over them. While opportunities and threats are external factors. You don't have control over them, but you can manage them. You can cope with them if you have very good strategy. So if you want to pick a particular business from a list of businesses, what you need to do is to identify the strength of each. The one with highest number of strengths should be preferred. They also identify the weaknesses. The one with less number of weaknesses should be preferred. Then also you look at the opportunities. The ones with the highest number of opportunities should be preferred, and threats, and the one with least number of threats factors should also be preferred. So this is what we call SWOT analysis. And it's very, very important, very, very useful for aspiring entrepreneurs and also for established entrepreneurs. I want you to put what you have learned today into practice so that your business idea will move systematically to the next level. This is an example of a SWOT analysis for a T-shirt printing company on campus, look at some of the strengths. We look at proximity, positive market research, fast delivery, quality product, low production cost. But look at the weaknesses. Few number of members have technical expertise or know-how. They have insufficient fund. They have poor knowledge of environment. But look at the opportunities. So many clubs are around who wants to make shirts, event giveaway, trends, university programs. All these are avenues, for opportunities. And threats, technological change. There may be change in the type of machine you use, change in taste of buyers. Once buyers, have a change in their tastes and preferences, they cease to buy your goods. Disruption of supply chain for so many reasons. Look at COVID. COVID has actually disrupted supply chain for so many manufacturing companies. And the university may also ban your operation. Even in the larger society, government may ban your product or services for a number of reasons. Thank you for listening.